Hi guys, it's Lucy and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up. This past month I read 4 books, which if you saw that TBR I made in the middle of the month, you'd be like, Lucy, you had all those books planned. And you're right, I had those books planned. Did I get to them all? No. Did I get to the majority of them? No. Did I get to one of them? Yes. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I gave this book 4 stars. I got it on kind of a whim. I wasn't planning on reading it this month, but I was looking through the ebooks my library had and this was one of them. This is a new release for the year of 2017. It's pretty popular, so I'd be surprised if you hadn't heard of it. But if you haven't, this book is about a girl named Molly who's had many crushes throughout her life, and she kind of never does anything about them. Like, she realizes she likes a guy and then that's kind of it. She never tries to talk to them or do anything with them. She has a twin sister who she's very close with, who then gets a girlfriend, and then the girlfriend has a friend who Molly kind of starts getting a crush on, but then she also has this other guy who works at a store she works at, and she might realize she has feelings for him, and the story just follows Molly and what she's gonna do with these boys she likes. So I really like this book. I thought it was so much fun to read. I felt that the relationships in it were done very well, both romantic relationships and friendships and family relationships. The family dynamic in this book is done very well. Molly has 2 moms, and then they're both present in her life, which is always a plus. And then she is very close with her sister, and part of the book is her dealing with a closeness with her sister, and then her sister also getting her first girlfriend and how that affects the relationship. Speaking of the diversity, as I said, her sister gets a girlfriend, and her sister is a lesbian. Her girlfriend is pansexual. Also, aside from that, one of Molly's moms is black as well as her younger brother, and Molly herself is fat, and then their family is also Jewish, and so there's that representation as well. And I just wanted to say that this is the kind of diversity you should just expect from any contemporary book you read. It doesn't feel shoved in, as people would say. It's just, this is how people's lives are. Not all your friends are going to be exactly the same as you, and that's just life. And it's shown through this novel. And as I already said, this book was really fun to read. I was reading it during my finals week when I should have been studying, but it was a very nice reprieve from all of the stress of finals, and it was just fun to read. Everything that happened just so adorable, and I had such a good time reading it. So I would recommend it. The next book I finished reading was The Sign of the Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I listened to an audiobook of this on LibriVox, which was narrated by Robin Cutter, and I gave this book 3 stars. This was my second foray into the Sherlock Holmes novels, so I read the first one, A Study in Scarlet, last year. I actually enjoyed the mystery aspects of this book more than the first one. Where it went really wrong for me was Watson's love story within the novel. If you don't know, the Sherlock Holmes stories are narrated by the character Watson, who is actually like taking all of Sherlock Holmes' adventures and writing them down. In this story, we get introduced to Watson's future wife, but the love story of them was really super lackluster. It felt completely out of place within the story, and it just felt like Watson being in love with her was so weird, and it was not at all well developed. It wasn't a huge part of the story, but it felt like that it was there at all really took away. But other than that, the mystery was good. Also, I'd just like to point out that this was written in 1890, so there is mention of brown people in this book, and the description of them is not good at all. So while it is a product of its time, it's something that you should be wary of. Next, I finished Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. This is about a girl named Amy whose father dies in a car accident, and because of this, her mother decides that they should move from California to Connecticut. And in order to do this, they also have to move their car, but there's only one issue, and that issue is that Amy no longer drives after her father's car accident. So Amy's mother's solution to this is to get a family friend named Roger to drive him and Amy across the country in their car. And this book just follows that trip, and we learn more about Amy's feelings about everything throughout the book, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I would classify this as a fun read, but with a heavier undertone because, as I said, her father has passed away very recently, and so we follow Amy dealing with that. But the fun aspects were that since this is a road trip book, there's a bunch of travel journal entries and scrapbook stuff, and then fun playlists that are involved. I didn't listen to any of them because it's not my music taste, but I imagine if you're listening to it as you're reading this book, that'd be an extra fun aspect of the book. and just the descriptions of all the places that they ended up going were very vivid and made me kind of want to visit all those places. But as I said, there were heavier undertones. We learn about how Amy's dealing and processing with the grief she has after her father's death, and then the relationship she has with the rest of her family, that being her mother and her twin brother, and how she feels about them and how she thinks they feel about her. And I thought those parts of the book were also done very well. And I really appreciated being able to see Amy go through all of that in this book. And I didn't cry reading this, but a lot of people have. So if you're looking for something fun, but with something heavier added on, I would really recommend this. The last book that I read during the month of May was Shiny Broken Pieces by Sona, Chairapotra, and Dhonielle, Clayton. I actually finished this just yesterday. It was the last book I read in May. I'm filming this on the 1st of June, which I know, on time. It will not be going up today, but I filmed it on time. This is the second book in the Tiny Pretty Things duology. The first book follows 3 girls, June, Gigi, and Bet, who are all students at a very prestigious ballet conservatory, and it follows them dealing with all the pressures of going to a school like that, and we watch them get caught up in the cutthroat world of ballet. The second book takes place relatively right after the first one, and we just follow these characters as they deal with the after effects of the first novel. I really loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I was so emotional while reading it, and I really didn't expect that. The cast of this book is pretty diverse, with Gigi being black and June being half Korean, and those parts of themselves are also dealt with in the story and how being a different race can affect them in the dance world. I realized in this book that I was much more emotionally attached to these characters than I realized in the first book, especially the character of June, who is going through a lot in this book. I was so emotionally invested that I was actually pretty sure I was tearing up for like the last quarter of the book. Like just every like section, like something would happen and I'd be like, oh my god. And like, yeah, it gave me a lot of feelings. It's been a while since a book has done that to me, so I really, really like this. I also think that I related to this book a little bit in the fact that these are dancers dealing with being in the world of dance, and I used to dance not to the level that these girls did. I was nowhere near as good, and I wasn't auditioning for companies or anything like that, but it was just a big part of my life, and to see it reflected in this book the way it was gave me a lot of emotions, and I thought it was really done very well, especially the descriptions of dance, watching others dance, and how them dancing made them feel. So if you're interested in that, then I would recommend. If you're interested in catty girl fights, then I would also recommend. I feel like this is a good combination of both emotional and just like fun. And yeah, I really just love this book, and again, would recommend. You should read it. So those are all the books that I read in the month of May. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any opinions about any of the books that I read this month, please be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite book that you read in May. Mine was probably Shiny Broken Pieces. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!